Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Underground. It's Trixie. Welcome to the show. Welcome. It's Sunday. Closer and closer to Halloween. There's leaves flying all over the place, so it feels like fall. Time to go to Salem. I'm not going to Salem because it's just every time I get these things on my phone saying Salem's, this road's closed, this one's sold out. I don't want the aggravation. Let me tell you about my busy Saturday night, okay? So, yeah, I watched Insidious, the last one, the Red Door, with my mom. I go home, pull into my driveway. It looked like there was an animal, you know. It's like a one-way driveway, big driveway parking lot. And I'm looking, and it was a guy laying on the ground in the parking lot, in the middle of the ground. I didn't understand what he was doing. I thought maybe he was gazing up at the stars, which there were none because it was like dark and rainy. And I was like, why is he laying on the ground? So I called the cops. So I said, this guy either wants to kill himself or, I don't know, he's going to get run over. In the 5 minutes it took for me to call the cops, someone ran him over. So I was like, okay, what's going on? All of a sudden I see him carried off on a stretcher. But I don't know what happened. I don't know why he was there. But he was laying there before they ran him over. So, man, 5 minutes. And then the woman next to me goes, well, maybe they didn't know they ran him over. Well, there's a big bump when you run over a human being. If I ran over a squirrel, I'd know. All right. Did anybody see Saturday Night Live last night? It was Bad Bunny was hosting. I don't really know his music. He's very cute. Seems like a nice guy. I don't really like his music. But Mick Jagger was on it. So all through the show, they had Bad Bunny being a woman with a beard, which I guess is believable in this day and age. I've seen it. And Mick Jagger dressed as a nun because someone was having sex with all the nuns, which again, I can believe that too. It was just hysterical. I thought one of the best shows, of course. It just started, but I wasn't really into it lately. But I thought that Mick Jagger was pretty good, pretty interesting. Let's get on with the fun stuff. I don't want to depress you guys. So Travis Kelce talked about, he admitted that when he was younger, he was a leash baby, like a leash child. You know what a leash child is? Like when I used to work at Enfield Mall, the cemetery, I used to see these women, having leashes around their children. I'd be like, what is wrong with these people? Why are they leashing their children? Until I met my 9-year-old niece and watched her in Target. And I was like, wow, okay, yeah, some kids need a leash because kids just run off. It's crazy. So yeah, I don't feel so bad about, leashes anymore on children. I'm all for freedom and all that, but every so often I'd hear, like over the loudspeaker, loose kid, lost kid in Target, please go to your mom over here. And it's like it happened like every day where the cops would come. So I don't know if you guys believe in leashing your children, but yeah, I mean, definitely if they're wild, put a leash on them. Taylor Swift's movie made like almost 100 million. She's like a winner wherever she goes. The football ratings are great. Travis is going with her on tour when she goes to Argentina. The highest grossing concert movie ever. She's amazing. I guess in the movies, of course, anything Taylor says they do. She's like encouraging them to go dancing and singing. So I just saw a video with them. I don't think I'll be going because I want to really go to see Taylor. It's nice that they're having a good time, but it's like one of those things like where you see at the cults where they heal people that are blind and they go crazy. That's what these, Swifties, wow. They're not bad. They're just like crazy. In a good way. Crazy in a good way. I don't say anything bad. So the last episode, day 4 of Special Forces. This was like the best show, okay? The best episode on the show. They had to carry a 200-pound boat across land, give me a break, to a river. There were 8 of them, so 4 in each boat. One of them had a couple women. That's really fair. Team Bravo, of course Sandoval was on Team Bravo, and Team Alpha. So they were having issues. You could hear them groaning and like, oh, I can't take it in my back, all this stuff. One woman quit in the middle of it. And she was like, I can't feel, she was hyperventilating. They're like, suck it up. And she's like, no, they were dying, basically. Sandoval fell on his back. Kelly Rizzo quit in the middle of it. So then they were like, and then there were 7 altogether. So then they had to fight to the death. This is the part I really liked. One of the teachers or whatever you call them, staff, I think you call them staff, called Tom Sandoval a buffoon, which I thought was funny. One of the guys puked. He was getting yelled at to puke standing up so we could see your face. Sandoval was complaining about people abusing him on Instagram, over Sandoval, saying he deserves the punishment. He was a stupid reality star. He didn't get it. But Jack Osbourne kicked his ass. I couldn't believe it because I guess he knows Tai Chi or something, or Taekwondo. I don't know. But they're punching each other, and Sandoval just kept going because he used to wrestle. He's going and going. He won the first match, and then Jack Osbourne fought him, and the second time he bloodied his nose. Jack was pretty tough. It was like kill or be killed. But I just kind of made me want to punch somebody just watching it. It was kind of cool. But Tom Brady was complaining about like people getting soft, like flag football. I don't think that's funny because Tom Brady was the biggest diva. Whenever anybody touched him, he cried for a flag. So that's his Let's Go podcast. And Gronk, I love how Gronk said that. He's like, yeah, all the rules go in your favor, Tom. You're not playing anymore. That's why you're saying that. I love his honesty. And that's like phony for me, for Tom Brady, to just talk about how it's flag football when he was one of the biggest, like, don't touch me. And, I know because when I was growing up, you could, hit him by the collar and in the back and chop his legs off. And it was really tough back then. But, you're seeing people with the CTE. You don't want to have that. You don't want to have the guy not knowing where his home is. The woman on The Bachelor, I don't watch The Bachelor, but The Golden Bachelor, she, I guess in your 50s, this happens. I mean, maybe you can take some Metamucil, but she hadn't had a bowel movement in almost 2 weeks. Oh, are you kidding me? That would make me miserable. I'm sorry. I don't know. Maybe that's normal for some people, but they should have, giving her a laxative or something. But she said it was due to a lack of sleep. Is that really true? A lack of sleep? Just pile on the Metamucil or something. Or you know what works? Coffee. Coffee works. But then they had her on, I don't know if they had her on Jimmy Kimmel when she said she finally had a bowel movement, which is wonderful. Yay. Congratulations. Mass holes, that's us in Massachusetts, rated number 2 for best drivers in the country. Certainly not Connecticut. I was in the Manchester store, and I get out to go to lunch. I'm in the right lane. This guy just drives into me. I had to stop my car because I really didn't want to get in an accident. And see, he just kind of drove into me and then proceeded to then put on his blinker to turn into the gas station. Good job. But this was a study published by law firm Friend Levinson and Turner Ltd. Friend. So they say that, remember, I thought that red cars were the most ticketed by cops. It turns out gray cars. Mine's silver. I don't know if that matters. But there's 6% of cars on the road and they get 10% of the tickets. That's according to Traffic School Online. Joran van der Sloot finally confessed to the killing of Natalie Holloway, but, I don't know whether or not to believe him because he lies when he opens his mouth. He lies more than Trump. So I thank God for, her mom, Natalie Holloway's mother, because it's like 18 years later she finally gets closure. But he said he was kissing her on the beach. She wouldn't go all the way with him, so he picked up a cinder block and then bashed her bludgeoned her, and then dragged her body to the ocean and dumped her in the sea when he was in the knee high. But don't you float? Don't you have to weigh a body down? I believe the last time he said it to that other guy when he was smoking weed, when he said that she was having a seizure, he probably gave her a drug or something, and then he called somebody with a boat. I think that's more believable. But yeah, I don't know if that's true. I just don't believe anything he says. He said he was scared. He's scared. He's a killer. He didn't know what to do, so he kicked her in the head. Lovely. Everybody's turning on Trump. Sidney Powell, that whack job, the lawyer, she pled guilty to conspiracy, interfering, blah, 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 with the election duties, blah, blah, blah. It's all stemming from that. She's going to get probation, I think 6 years probation, no jail time. Something's going on. They're all starting to turn on Trump. He's maybe a little nervous at this point because this lady was the one that she says, I'm going to release the Kraken. She's crazy. She's probably she's giving him up. Everybody's turning on him. Another one turned on Trump, Ken Chesebro. Did I pronounce his name right? He was the architect of that scheme for the alternate electors in Georgia. He gets fined $5,000. Not too bad for a rich guy. And probation. He's turning over text messages. So it looks like the toy soldiers are falling down. The New York judge threatened to jail Trump. Over violating his partial gag order. So what did he do on social media? He put himself in a courtroom sketch with Jesus next to him, which I don't really understand. He thinks he's Jesus, persecuted like Jesus. He shouldn't do that. Jesus is watching. Don't do it. But, he should put himself next to the Rottweiler in The Omen. That's more close. George Santos walking with a baby. I don't understand where he got the baby. Did he go steal it from a maternity ward or something? They're asking him if it was his baby, and he said, not yet. What do you mean, not yet? What a strange man. Or woman, depending on what he wants to be this week. So, Jim Jordan's out. Well, that kind of makes me feel good, because he was part of, the insurrection, overturned the election. I don't really like it. Democracy 1, insurrection. Insurrection is 0. Thank God. I like that guy that banged the gavel. I can't talk this morning. Am I still asleep? Yeah, he was banging it very hard. I guess they talked to him and he's a little softer now. But I thought that was funny. He seemed a little angry. But I did talk to this woman where I work in Manchester, and I was asking her what she wanted for home improvement projects, and she says, honey, I'm waiting for the rapture. Oh, okay. You're waiting for the rapture? We're all going to float up at any time at this moment. American Horror Story Delicate Finale, Part 1. So I'm really starting to get disinterested in this, but I'll just go through it quickly. Anna drinks some more vials of blood that Kim Kardashian gives her, and soon she's in the shower with a goat. So Kim Kardashian is with the fat guy having dinner. She's on her phone ignoring him, and she doesn't want to listen to him talk. She's probably the best character on this show. So Emma Roberts, is going for a pelvic massage, okay, from her pain that she's feeling, probably from those blood vials that she's drinking. The woman tells her to strip from the waist down, like a gyno. She gets kind of raped. That's kind of the woman's in there with the hands. And she's finger assaulted. And she's like, okay, get your hands out of there. But her husband doesn't believe a word of it. He's like John Cassavetes in Rosemary's Baby. And Emma Roberts misses the Golden Globe. She loses the Golden Globes. And then it kind of ends with Kim Kardashian says, do you want to win an Oscar? And how bad do you want to win an Oscar? Do you want it as bad as you want the baby? And she says yes. So that's kind of like, in Rosemary's Baby, where John Cassavetes sells his soul to the devil and that rival goes blind. Remember that? Just a little quick note before we end. Suzanne Summers, dead at 76. She was on our show not this one. She was on our show a couple times. I just remember her talking about menopause and her saying she's taking bioidentical hormones even though there's not enough research because she doesn't have time. And she thought it was very bleak. She was depressed. She didn't want to really do anything anymore. She had no energy. And she's a Libra too. I love it. She passed away the day before her birthday. She died in her sleep. That's kind of we all want to go that way. So yeah, we remember her from, I do anyway, Three's Company, where she wanted to make as much as John Ritter. She wanted a portion of the profits. It kind of set in motion everybody else getting more money, like Friends, sticking together and not going against each other like they did on Three's Company. Her breast cancer came back after a long time. She lived with it. But she did natural. She didn't believe in chemo, which I get it, because chemo kind of destroys everything. She also said something cool. Be grateful for the highs. Be grateful for the lows. That's where you learn. You do grow out of low points in your life. Piper Laurie, that got lost too. She died. Remember her in Carrie? He put it in me. He put it in me, and I liked it. And then when she's beating up Sissy Spacek with the Bible saying, Eve was weak, say it. Eve was weak. I liked her. I thought she was really cool. I loved her voice. A missing dog from Minnesota accidentally got wasted on pot brownies. He had a little fun, but he couldn't walk. So I don't know who did it, if they purposely got him high, but the poor thing was paralyzed. Generation Z, the 25-year-olds, so one of them talked about quitting her corporate job. This is Andra Berghoff, after 4 months, because she didn't want to do this corporate drone thing, in quotes, for the rest of her life. And you know what? I never worked corporate. I never liked that kind of atmosphere, stale, and you have to conform and wear a suit or whatever. She said she believed there were people in their 40s at the same company earning the same amount of money as she was, and struggling to get by. Yeah, that's most of us. And question if this was all there was to life. They are wise in the way, because you see older people, and we used to do shows about this, how to get a job after 50. And I lost my job when I was 49. You have to reinvent yourself. That's how you do it. So some have adopted bare minimum Mondays. I never even knew this was a thing. Bare minimum Mondays, where you just kind of ease into the work week. I go like high voltage all the time with me. She says corporate life is soul-sucking and unnecessary with long hours. Yep. Awful dress code. Yep. And higher-ups who refuse to listen to their employees. Brilliant. That's pretty good. And then she says, so say whatever you want about Gen Z, but we're finally putting our foot down about this corporate lifestyle where you waste most of your life sitting in an office doing little to nothing. Yeah, I agree with her. They have an earthquake simulator in LA. Who the hell would want to simulate an earthquake? Yeah, let's like shake. That's why I would never want to live in California, because I can't deal with the ground opening up. They talk about us with the ice in Mass. Speaking of Mass, Springfield, where I was born, one of the worst places in the country to have a vacation home, and that is it. Thanks you guys for watching. We'll see you again. Look at my, see this? Good witch, and then if you're mean to me, I turn into bad witch. Have a good week.